Hey there, Capricorn. How's it going? I hope everything's going good with you. This is for your week of March 14th, 2022. I'm excited. We got a brand new spanking deck I've been looking forward to getting for a long time, but let's get into your energy here. Coming into this week, we got the High Priestess, the Seven of Wands, and the Page of Swords here for you. Looking at that. All right, so with the High Priestess here, the Page of Swords, and the Seven of Wands, this is really sort of you coming in, trying to clear the air about something. I feel like there might be some sort of miscommunication that's brought you a lot of unfortunate energy here at this time, or maybe some unfortunate attention with that Seven of Wands there. You can see here the spider guy here. He's kind of trying to balance up. These people are trying to knock him off of his perch here, and he's just doing the best to try to defend himself. Like, he's trying to keep his balance right. He looks a little worried here, concerned. And I feel like there's some sort of there's some sort of passive aggressive energy coming your way that you're trying to deal with here, because you see here with the High Priestess is all about your intuition. So you're probably getting a sense there's maybe a friend or a family member, or just somebody in your life is kind of giving you, maybe not necessarily the cold shoulder, but there's certainly being maybe a little more indifferent to you lately. And so this Page of Swords really is saying that you want to reach out, you want to kind of clear this, because right now things are kind of seeming a little hostile at this time, and things are seeming a little worrisome. So let's look into some clarifiers for this and see what we got. Clarify this energy here for you, Capricorn. All right, let's take a look. What do we have? We got the Lovers, the Hierophant, the Ace of Pentacles here. All right. So yeah, the Lovers. So I feel like this is definitely, for a lot of you, probably someone in your life who's probably like a significant other for a lot of you. So, if you have a partner of some sort, maybe that's what you're dealing with. It could also be saying that this is a Gemini with the Lovers, or maybe a Taurus with the Hierophant here. It could be one of those signs, maybe, one of those two types of people. If your partner has that sign, or it could just be saying like maybe you're dealing with someone as well. It could be just anybody, some sort of connection anyway, where, they have those signs in their chart. So it's interesting there. It just feels kind of like maybe this person, there's some sort of communication here. It's almost as if you've kind of maybe offered them something that they maybe took offense to, almost, because we have the Ace of Pentacles here with the Hierophant, and it almost feels like sort of like you didn't maybe they feel like you didn't learn your lesson from something from before, and you're like trying to offer them something, and it's sort of like repeating past mistakes potentially, is sort of how I'm feeling here. Like maybe, for instance, you might have, maybe they don't want help or something, or they don't want they want to do certain things on their own, and it's like you're sort of offering help even though they don't want it, even though they're kind of struggling, they just kind of work on it their own. And it feels almost like they've maybe told you about that before, maybe you just didn't pick up on it, and that's kind of why they're kind of a little bit on the offensive side here. Could also just be saying like potentially it's something to do with finances, and maybe you're out, maybe you or them are out there kind of spending money where you shouldn't, and it's kind of like one of those things like, that this didn't go well last time, right? Again, with the Hierophant talks about learning, teaching, learning from past mistakes, or learning new things and new skills. And with that Ace of Pentacles, it feels like maybe like you're just kind of, maybe spending money you shouldn't be spending, or maybe they are as well. Like, this could be very much reversed as well. This could be the other way, where you're kind of having the problem with them, right? And they're kind of being like, oh, what's the big deal? Like, I have a fellow I work with, and his wife does this all the time, where she'll just go out and spend like ludicrous amounts of their money on things that it's like, gee, like that's something that like, I forget what it was. It's like a vape pen or something, and it's like, I think she paid like $60 for it. and it only lasts for a couple of days, where like a normal person, it lasts them like a month, you know, and it's like, geez Louise, like just burning money, like it's, you know, like it's burning a hole in your wallet. So, and not necessarily everyone is like that, but just in that particular instance. So maybe a situation like that, that's kind of what I'm picking up on here. So let's look at some challenges you might be facing here. Let's see what we got going on. Oh, we got cards flipping and jiving here. I love this. I love the artwork on these cards. I like the old cartoon style. It's pretty neat. Or I think it's pretty neat here. Oh, we got pop out for you. Got the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense given the relationships and such we've been talking about here. What else do we got for you? Oh, it's a new deck too. The cards really want to stick together. We got Death here as well. And we got the Wheel of Fortune too. Yeah. All right. With that Three of Pentacles here, Three of Pentacles talks about teamwork makes the dream work. And with this being in your challenges, that makes sense here. Like there's that kind of like synergy, that energy between the two of you seems to be disrupted at this time. So it makes sense that's a challenge for you this week as well. Especially with Death here too, you kind of want to move on from this. You kind of want to like patch this up. Like let's end this kind of like cycle of like we got some like troubled energy between the two of us, but again, just a big challenge there as well. With Death being here, Death is Scorpio's card, so you may have Scorpio in your chart. You might be dealing with a Scorpio, maybe your partner is a Scorpio. Let me know in the comments below. Always love to hear about that stuff. Oh, excuse me. And we got the Wheel of Fortune here too. It just might feel like this is kind of like almost like a feeling that whoever the person is here, like the kind of the offender here, it almost feels like they felt like, you know, their luck was churning in a positive way, but really it wasn't, right? And that's kind of why they did this. You know, it's kind of like, oh, I thought I could, you know, I thought it was my lucky day, or I thought this time would be different or something, right? And it kind of feels that way, where I'm kind of getting the sense of like this person felt that way. They felt like, oh no, this time it'll be different. Like this time this will be worth it. This time, you know, I'm going to make a difference here. And it just kind of didn't pay off here, right? And so we're kind of, you know, you almost see like that wheel in the center. It's kind of giving a bit of a malicious smile, right? It's almost like, you know, like the game was rigged against them almost. And it's not necessarily their fault, but, you know, again, it's kind of hard when them or you are not learning your lesson from this, right? And it's kind of, it does cause stresses on the other person, especially when it's like finances with that regard to both of you, right? So let's look at some challenge clarifiers here for you and see what we got. And then we're going to move on to some outcome cards and then an oracle card to tie everything off here. Let's see what we got for you. We got Temperance showing up here, the Five of Cups, and the King of Wands here. Temperance, it's Sagittarius' card. So again, you may have Sagittarius in your chart. Maybe your partner or this person you're dealing with has Sagittarius in their chart as well. If you do, let me know down below. But with Temperance, the King of Wands, and the Five of Cups, yeah, it feels very much like whoever this person is, whether it's you or them, with that King of Wands, feels like they really definitely did this as like it's for me kind of thing. They didn't really think of like consulting the other person here for sure. Which it definitely puts things in the doghouse, because that almost feels like you or them are the King of Wands and the other person is the Five of Cups here, where it's like the King of Wands went after what they wanted, right? They just really went after whatever it was in their life. They were like, this is what I want and I don't really care. And the Five of Cups here, the person here is dealing with the negative, like the knocked over cups. It's like, now we have less here. Like we have less because of this, because you went and did something selfish, or because you or them went and did something selfish. I was trying to say shellfish there. Maybe you bought a lot of shellfish. I don't know. Maybe we're selfish and bought a lot of shellfish. Potentially, that's hard for me to say. But maybe it's a situation like that, right? And so it kind of feels like that person's kind of left dealing with the negative here, dealing with the consequences of this, right? And you can almost see like they're trying to make the most of what's left here with the Temperance card, right? We got those two cups they're trying to mix together. Those two cups, that's all that's left. And it feels like they're like, now I have to work extra. I have to work harder to kind of make up for this mistake that's happened here. And that's not fair to them either, just because something someone else chose to do, whether it was you or them, right? Or maybe both of you as well. Like maybe you both made bad choices recently here that's kind of led you guys into kind of a little bit of a rough spot here. So let us look at Journey coming into the reading, just to shake his bum in my face, buddy. You like doing that, don't you? You're going to have to get out of here, my friend. I love you. I love you so much. You're so sweet. You're such a nice boy when the cameras aren't rolling. But when you're here, oh my Lord, you're selfish. He's a selfish boy. selfish. Oh man, that's a hard word for me to say. I don't know why. I don't know why. My tongue just won't go around it, I guess. So we're going to look at some outcome cards. So we're going to get a pop out for you already. But we're going to look at the rest of your outcome cards here and then some clarifiers and tie everything off with an oracle message before we get into the rest of them there. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it all so much. I hope this is helping you. I hope this is resonating. And if it is, you can hit that thumbs up button down below. Give that a little boop. That like button helps out a ton. You can also subscribe to the channel if you really like what I do here. That also helps out a lot. Not just me, but it helps you find me easier every week so that you can check these out as I'm uploading them. You don't got to find me, you know, on Reddit or some other place wherever I'm advertising. So we got for you your outcome cards. We got the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles here. I like this. This is a good energy. With the Queen of Swords, you definitely want to be open and honest, right? I feel like that's the kind of communication you need to have, not just with them, like regardless of what side you come down on this, right? Whether you're the one that's kind of done, you know, maybe done something a little more self-centered, or if you're the other person on the other side who's kind of dealing with the negatives of that. I feel like you just need to have an open and honest conversation, right? You need to just talk with them here. You can see with not just the Knight of Swords here, but the Page of Swords as well that we had earlier. They're clouded. They kind of don't really see what's going on, and I feel like that's kind of maybe how the offending person here, whether it's you or them, kind of sees things. They don't necessarily see the big picture. They don't necessarily see it with perfect clarity because they're like, well, what's wrong? I did something for me. Like, you know, we're always talking about that kind of stuff. Or people always say you should do something for yourself. Whereas the Queen of Swords doesn't have that problem. The clouds are all below her head. She can see clearly. It's to say that you are, the other person here is seeing like, no, like this really has affected us in a negative way because, you know, you've done this, right? It's you know, kind of having an open and honest talk. And I feel like not rushing it, right? The Knight of Swords really wants to rush in and just kind of get things over with. But I feel like you need to kind of make sure the air is clear before any like movement forward happens here with that Knight of Swords, because maybe again the Knight of Swords can be very impulsive, right? He is the fastest moving knight in the deck, so that might be that person, like your partner or you might be very impulsive. So try to slow it down with them, try to explain things, try to talk it out, right? And be honest, right? Not like in a kind of like don't do that again kind of way, but like, you know, explaining things. One thing at my job that always drives me nuts was that when I first started out, I worked with these two guys, and they would never explain anything to me. Like if we did something new or the reasons why we did things at work, they wouldn't explain things to me. They just tell me, just do it because I told you to do it, right? They didn't like it when I asked questions about things, which was really frustrating. But one time we had like a part-time guy that had been there for a long time, and he took me aside when I did something, like I had a little bit of mess up, and he said, hey, like you don't do that because of this reasons, and that kind of messes things up down the line. And to this day, I remember that always. But those things they tried to force me to explain, I still even to this day don't really get, because they never sat down and told me why. No one ever did. Like, so those things are like, I don't know why we do this, we just do it, right? And that might be something that they're kind of having trouble with as well. It's like, they're just like, you say don't do this, but like, why? Like, I don't get it. So maybe just explaining that to them will help them out a lot. And I feel like that's going to head in a good direction for you here with that Nine of Pentacles, because then that puts you one step away from the Ten of Pentacles, which is where you want to be, where there's some real value and worth and like material worth and value here. Whereas like back here, we're kind of losing that a bit. Like we're almost kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. Not intentionally, of course. Like I don't feel like they did this maliciously, being like, haha, screw you, or you doing that to them. But I feel like you're going to be putting yourself on the right path here, which I think is really beautiful. So let's look at some outcome cards, and then we'll get to your oracle message to wrap this all up and see what we got for you here, Capricorn. All right. We got the Three of Pentacles, or the Three of Pentacles. We got the Three of Wands, Gemini, Jillikers, the Ten of Swords, and the World here, the Zowoldo. Yeah, definitely heading towards something big here, like with the almost completion with the Nine of Pentacles, a Ten of Swords here, which is a completion, and the World, which is the big completion here. For sure, we're heading towards something really good. I love it. The Three of Wands, just you gotta be patient with them, I feel like, or they gotta be patient with you, or you gotta show patience with them, regardless. If they're trying to explain something to you, maybe that's what you need to do. You need to kind of ask them, like, what did I do wrong? If you're on that end here. So I feel like that needs to be said. You need to be patient with them and kind of understanding as well. But I feel like once the air's been cleared and once everyone is on the same page, it's going to end up clearing up very quickly with that Ten of Swords because it is a sudden ending. So I like that a lot. And the world, we're heading towards something big. Like I say, that Ten of Pentacles that you're almost there with, and the world's going to say this is going to be a big turnaround for you too. So that's looking beautiful. I love it. Let's tie this all off with an oracle message. Wrap this up for you. See what we got here, Capricorn, and I hope it's good, and I hope you've been clicking along with this. So we got the Here and Now card number 32. Let's take a look at it. Your oracle message. See what we got for you. All right, here and now. Everything happens in the now, in the present. Only this moment counts. You have what it takes to handle anything today. If you let go of the need to look into the future or reflect on the past, be present and notice what is going on right now. This very moment has the potential to create miracles in your life. And we were talking about that a bit with the High Priestess, where you're kind of noticing things are up here, whether it be with them, you know, you're kind of noticing something's up, whether it's like you've done something with them or you kind of noticing like, you know, there's some tension here between the two of you or what have you. Just kind of be present in that. Be aware that you kind of got to clear the air now, like not thinking about like, you know, like what, like if I start an argument now, is that going to affect us way down the line? It's like you got to deal with it now. Like it's better to deal with it now rather than later, right? And talk with them here and now. Talk about like how this is affecting us here and now, right? Not just, you know, down the line, but I think like here and now will maybe be better for them to understand, is that and better for you to understand as well. It's like, what is this doing like right now? What are the immediate consequences of what has taken place here? And I feel like that'll help kind of move things along for you. So I hope that helped you out. Hope that resonated with you, Capricorn, and I will see you next time.